All right, and welcome to more on the road here live at Forest Hill High School, South Jackson Stadium. Here with my good friend, Coach Jeremy Jones. How you doing today, Coach?
Man, I'm doing well, Coach. Appreciate you for having me.
Well, no problem. Thank you, Coach. Thanks for joining us this lovely day. I know that it is in season right now. I know that the weather is very lovely. It's hot outside. It's good football weather. Definitely work on conditioning for your players and stuff. What you got going on this summer, Coach? I know that you're not up here just to sit down and chill out and relax and just look at the green grass. I know you got something going on.
Oh man, working, man, working. We got a long season ahead of us. We working, getting ready for this fall, man.
Well, I see that you got a youth skills development football camp up this Saturday. Coming here at live at South Jackson Stadium on the campus of Forest Hill High School. Tell us about the youth camp, Coach.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to give back to the community. Been here for like 4 years, going on year 5. Just giving back, developing some of the youth around. Also for our players, a good opportunity to embrace younger people around. How this game go.
Well, who all would the camp benefit? I see that you got ages from 5 to 14. That's mainly targeting look like middle school. Is that what elementary, Pee Wee League, and middle school?
Yeah, most definitely. That's what we taught them. They'll help you with those developmental transition skills. That's what we're working on. So we're gonna work on, stance and start for one. Also working on some agility things. So it's gonna be pretty good and pretty fun for the young people that show up.
How important is it for youth to be able to play football, especially starting at an early age?
Oh man, it's vital. It's vital because you want those skills. You want those skills early on, developmental skills. To be honest, it ain't really about the contact. It's more about the skills, the footwork, the hand placement, those things like that. It goes a long way in the game of football.
Now, I know growing up, some people say that playing football at an early age, especially with lack of fundamental, depends on who your coaches are. They were just looking like, especially in Pee Wee, not trying to knock into the Pee Wee League teams that are around here now. They were just looking like, just block the man in front of you or just run over everybody. Is that good football, that bad football, or that just coaches that really don't care, basically?
Well, I haven't. Well, this spring, been working hands-on with a lot of Pee Wee League guys. A lot of those guys, they're really willing to learn. So I'm not going to say bad coach. And some of them actually know what they're doing. It's just about, when you have two people out there, sometimes it's rough. When you have you and another guy, and you try to teach everything, so it gets kind of rough. So something's naturally going to lack. We only have two people out there. And the next thing, me personally, study shows that you don't really want to play to about 10 or 11. That's when the ball is really developed. But, man, I'm all for it. If that's something to keep these young people active, keep them out of trouble.
But the main thing is, like I said, if you can say the early development, because as a former football player as yourself, what did football teach you?
Oh, man, life skills.
Outside of just, like I said, hit the man in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
Work hard, things like that. What did it teach you outside the field?
Man, taught me to persevere. Because, sometimes you're not going to, I dealt with a couple of injuries, so teach you how to persevere. You're not going to always be the best player. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to come together as a unit, come together as a team. You got to put other people above yourself. And lastly, you got to know that, football in life, it teaches you about timeliness, effort, what to put out.
And so this is something that you're definitely trying to teach the youth again, because a lot of youth would just grow up and just say, "Hey, block the man in front of you."
Oh yeah. Nah, man. The camp now, we're gonna do more than that. Actually gonna have a few guest speakers, and we're gonna talk about, life outside of football as well, about making the right decisions, about being that scholar athlete, because at the end of the day, you gotta get something out of the game. If you just run out there blocking the man in front of you, what you getting out of the game? You want somebody that's gonna excel in the classroom. You want good, smart football players. You want a well-rounded person. Not just football, well-rounded person. Because at the end of the day, you know, the air gonna come out the ball, regardless if it's Pee Wee, junior high, middle school, college, NFL. So at some point, the air coming out the ball. So what lesson did you learn in between that time that's gonna help you in that next stage of your life?
Would there be any type of other things, like I said, teaching individuals about the recruiting process, about what they need to look for into transitioning from Pee Wee League to middle school to high school, potentially to college and potentially to pro? Because that's the ultimate goal for any youth. They see all the stars on the NFL making all this money or doing things in the community. Will they learn about that as well?
Yeah, like I said, the most important part they got to know is about grades. You know, we're gonna emphasize on that because in order for it to work, to get to college, you got to have grades. You know, people don't. When we talk about Division One, you know, you want to have the grades, you want to have the ACT. So we got to talk about that. You know, that's the most important part. It don't do you a darn good to be one of the top players around, and you have a 1.5, 1.8 GPA. You can't go nowhere. So, you know, when you get on that high school level. So we're going to talk about that. And even when you talk about when those colleges, they want to know what kind of student you are. So that's important as well. To focus on the whole picture, not just on the field aspect.
And again, how especially though, now let's bring it here local, dealing with the student athletes within the city of Jackson.
Yeah.
We know that crime has increased amongst the youth from murder to robbery to all sorts of things. What is something that you say that as an athlete or as a coach can target those non-athlete students to get them to be involved in athletics?
Man, what a lot of people don't realize, the athletics can save your life. You know, a lot of people, out of mind, you know, is a devil workshop. So if I got nothing but time on my hands, it's easy for me to go get with somebody who's not doing those things. It's easy for me to get in trouble. But when I find something to be a part of, and that's where, you know, our job come in, especially my job, is building the program, building a place for those guys that want to come. You know, and when they come in, understand that, hey, we're going to have to make the right decision. But it's vital. Like you said, it kind of correlates. You know, when you don't have nothing to do, and you look around, a lot of football program numbers are down. You know, so we build our programs up. Those young men get back into whatever sport. It don't even have to be football. It could be band, or it could be ROTC, anything. But they just got to have something to do.
And with that being said, some individuals look at being part of an athletic program. Some don't like the instruction and the discipline that comes along with it. I don't want no coach to be sitting here yelling at me. You know, if I make a mistake, they're gonna have me to run. Some don't like that discipline. What is something that you can tell them? I said, if a young man comes and say, Coach, I want to play, but I don't want you to yell at me. They don't want to do all that running and stuff if I mess up.
Now I'm asking, you want to be successful in life? Because at the end of the day, if you come out here, you know, you work a job, you know, your supervisor's gonna get on you. You know, this essentially is your first job. At 14, 15, this is your first job. You have a certain time to be at practice. That's the time to be at work. You have a certain amount of effort to put out. That's your output. You have a job description. So this is your first job. So if you don't want anybody to yell at you, just do the things you're supposed to do and put out that maximum effort. And then people also got to understand something else. It's a direct correlation. Just because somebody yelling at you don't mean it's bad. They may be yelling or saying something to you because they see something within you that you don't see in yourself. My old coach used to tell me something back in the day, man. You should be worried when I don't say a word to you. When I watch you do whatever you want to do, I don't say a word to you. I just look at you and say, look at him over there. So with that being said, you know, you got to embrace that because that's somebody who sees something in you that you may not see in yourself.
And most time, again, you can see some of you that they don't want to simple instructions. Like I said, if you want to be successful, you got the instructions to follow because that's life.
Most definitely.
And you have some of the most talented individuals in this world that say that's even just walking around throughout the school or either walking around the streets. And you can just see them playing pickup ball or just saying, even just out there just goofing around, you see the talent in them. Then a coach recognizes that. As a coach, you can recognize talent. Then you come approach and say, hey, I want you to be a part of my team. Nah, coach, I don't feel like running, coach. Nah, I don't want to deal with that. Or nah, coach, that's not what I do. What other ways can you reach a child and say, again, they have the talent, they have the ability, they just need that extra. I wouldn't say
I know.
shove. Let's
Yeah,
go ahead and get them over that hump.
just somebody to tap into them, you know. And coach, that situation, it goes so many different ways because each one is different. This one right here, it may take, like you said, an extra shove where the next one may not. So it's kind of like saying, hey son, you got all this in your world. What's your outlook? I always ask people, what's your outlook? What you want to be doing in 5 years from now? So 5 years from now, because let's think about it. If you're a senior 5 years from now, if you go to college, you're gonna be graduating from college. You know what I mean? If you're a freshman 5 years from now, you're gonna be enrolling in a trade school, being on the workforce or something. So what is your 5 year plan from now? If you don't have a 5 year plan, come and get this discipline. Come get some scrubs. Because that's my job. The wins and losses are important, but it's all about developing young men. When you do what you're supposed to do, when you develop the players, that's when you win. You're going to win nationally when them guys realize, like, coach got our back. Coach done tapped into us. Coach want what's best for us. Man, they'll run through a wall for you. But if I only care about you from a football standpoint, can you run and jump? That's that hot coffee in me, man. I'm from the country. But can you run or jump or that? You know what I'm saying? Once I show you that I care, they don't care what you do. The only thing they care about is if you care about it. If they know you care and love them, man, they'll run through that wall for you.
Again, you with More on the Road with Bernard Moore III, brought to you by More Sports Management. We're here at the place where I call home, South Jackson Stadium, on the campus of Forest Hill High School, 2607 Raymond Road. Now, I know that JPS administration, they may not like what I'm about to say. This is Forest Hill Field. This is not South Jackson Stadium. This is Forest Hill Field. And we're going to continue to call it Forest Hill Field because I started off playing on this field my ninth grade year. Then they shut it down. Then I did start back playing until my senior year. So I can say that I somewhat helped build this field along with the class of 95 and the class of 98. You can say that we built this field. Again, Coach Jones will be hosting a youth skills development football camp here on the campus at Forest Hill High School at South Jackson Stadium this Saturday, July the 24th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ages from 5 to 14. You can registration online at form.jotform.com. Then it's some more numbers, /211895810.
Hey, Coach, I was going to tell you, man, you can just, if you got any questions, anybody want to register, my number is 769-243-2851. That's 769-243-2851. Just shoot me a text and I'll send you the link to the camp on this side. Yeah, man, that's a lot of numbers, man. That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, you can get Coach Jones provided them. You can get contact with Coach Jones and definitely register. Again, it's not all about just teaching fundamental football skills. You see this development football camp. Football is a tool, is a catalyst, is a way to, as I can say, that grabs the youth attention, and then you just tie into life things, development skills of life. Because it also started, as young as it started off as early as 5 years of age to help to see what direction you want to go into. Because if you have a kid that starts off at 5 years of age, they're reading, they're studying, they're being disciplined. They're disciplined. They're following instructions by their parents. They're good students in school. They're making good grades. That should continue on. But hopefully that, like says the script said, don't put them around a bad environment because that can corrupt. However, hope they have a strong foundation as well that they can get around a bad environment, but they can be that positive light to help decrease that bad environment. So that's the thing that just be mindful of who you're around. Now, Coach, I know that you have a big circle of coaches that you socialize with. Who do you say that you idolize your game out there? Your coaching, not your coaching tactics and strategies out of from?
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you, it was two guys. When I coached at Concordia College in Alabama, Man, Dickie Brooks, man, Dickie Brooks, man. Dickie Brooks was a good guy. You know, Dickie Brooks, you know, he always said, "Coach, it ain't about what they know, it's about what you know." You're like, man, it's our job to teach them to be better fathers, better men, better husbands. And also Coach Connor. You know, Coach Connor was a perfectionist. Coach Connor used to say, man, we got to rep it 1,000 times. They got to be able to rep it in their sleep. You know, and Coach Connor used to tell a story about the bird that didn't fly south for the winter. You know, the bird didn't fly south, and so the bird was decided to stay up in the winter. So the bird was moving around. It walked in the pasture. The bird see a cow, Mr. Cow, it sure is cold. You know, and the cow said, "Ah, man, I can help you, Mr. Bird." He defecated on it. You know, it's a moral to the story. So he defecated on the cow. I mean, on the bird. So the bird said, "Thank you, Mr. Cow." And the bird walks on down and, you know, walks it on. Ooh, I'm so warm now. So he walks up on a cat, and the cat sees him and says, "Oh, Mr. Bird, oh, you so stink. Oh, you so stink. Come over here, man. Let's fix you up." So the cat lifts the bird up, cleaned him up, and he ate him. The moral of the story was, and they go back to what we just said. Everybody who chews you out, everybody who demands something extra of you, that don't mean they ain't like to hurt you. You know, you gotta be aware of the people that lick you up all the time, the ones that lick you up, because that may not mean you no good. So
them cats, that's all I'm saying, them cats.
yeah, man.
Well, Coach, I'm glad you said Coach Dickie Brooks. I actually work with Dickie Brooks.
Man, Dickie, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Brooks and I work for the Hines County Sheriff's Office. Yeah.
Man, Dickie Brooks, man, good guy, man. Like I said, Coach, when I tell people, man, I was blessed as a coach. Man, I was 23 in college, and I'm working under guys that been in the game more than I've been alive. You know, Coach Brooks had 26 years of experience in college. You know, Coach Connor had 25 plus. He's still coaching he's at Miles now. And then we had Coach Norm. You know, I had guys that had been around the game. Coach Frantroy, you know, he passed away. The guys that been around the game, played the game on the highest level, all these guys were sweat guys. Coach, man, I'm 23, and you go sit in the office. Now you see his rings. You know, Coach Connor, he putting them out. You know, all these guys got rings, and you ask them, man, what was the formula? And they always say, man, Coach, it just tapped into them. You know, you demand something of them. You know, and everybody ain't appreciate it now. I was saying, man, I get it in the washing, but you may get it in the rinsing, you know. So you just demand something out of it and demand greatness. So that was a blessing, man. I had some good stories out of them.
Some stories that are not.
Yeah. Some good stories, man.
Again, Bernard Moore III with Moore on the Road, presented to you by Moore Sports Management here at South Jackson Stadium, home of the Forest Hill Patriots, with Coach Jeremy Jones, head football coach at Forest Hill High School. Coaches, now let's turn it towards the team. What's the team looking like this year?
Time will tell, man. Time will tell. And I know you're looking like, Coach, what? Time will tell. You know, no expectation. And I know you're saying if I go on with expectations and they don't live up to it, we disappoint. If I set the standard too low, then it's like, dang, that's all you know. Time will tell. You know, I tell people all the time, we have enough. You know, if those guys buy into what we're doing every day, we have enough. We have enough to make a run. You know, but the best teams, they got to make that decision to buy in. So we have enough. Time will tell if they buy in and do the things that they ask.
Yeah, and I know that we had a lot of issues, especially dealing with the COVID, and it kind of played a hindrance on JPS Athletics football season. That you didn't play the season, and you couldn't really work out with the kids because of COVID restrictions. Then schools were closed, and now they're kind of going back into it. So this past senior season, you lost a lot of good athletes that didn't have an opportunity to showcase it. And it's even really a push for that opportunity to play at the collegiate level. Now, I know I talked with a couple of coaches also and said that I know a lot of kids lost the opportunity, but if you didn't do it your junior year, a lot of the schools weren't looking at you, and you may have a few that fly up under the radar that will have an opportunity. Could you name someone that you think that would have caught someone, our coach's eye this particular season if it was went through?
I'll be honest. He's actually at East Central right now. Man, I had a young man, um, Sinbad. Sinbad was a hard worker. He had a few people looking at him. When the season went down, he ended up, losing that offer. But he's at East Central right now, and I tell him, I texted him the other day, just asked him how he won, and tell him, man, take advantage of the situation. Just because you're a scholarship player don't mean you're going. That's what people fail to realize. The scholarship ain't the whole time you're there. It's only for a small time. If you're not holding up your end of that bargain, you don't want to have a scholarship. So I told him, man, just grind, bust your butt, and whenever somebody mess up, or you hate to say that, but it's the nature of the beast. Somebody's not gonna do everything the team tells them to do, but you bust your butt doing everything the coach asks you to do, and when that slot come open, so you can get it.
Yeah, I had the opportunity. I was on the campus of Hines Community College earlier this year during the school year at a job fair, and I saw some of the guys that played here. I can't think of his name. The linebacker number 1 played DN.
Okay, Chris Lord.
Yeah, Lord, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh man, Tyler.
And so I saw a few other guys on campus as well, and you just want to see are they continue on. I know I'm just glad to see that they continue on their education, but you also would like to see them continue on athletic as well, because that's an opportunity. Athletics open up a door, a wide door.
It does.
They just open up a narrow. Athletics open up a wide door. Because I can say personally myself, graduated from Farsi, had an opportunity to walk on at Jackson State, and it opened up a door for me to see and meet a lot of professional individuals. Then being a part of the Tiger Nation family and bonding with some of your teammates.
Oh yeah.
And that's thing like I said, it opened up. It just made the family bigger, being part of athletics.
Come and tell you something, man. Chris Lord was a different type of animal. Man, I tell people all the time, man. Chris Lord, I got a kid now. It's about 6'4". And I say, man, if Chris Lord had your height, boy, because Chris Lord was only 5'8". He say he's 5'11", but that was a little twist that was standing up on his head. About 5'8", 5'9", but it was just different, man. Had a high motor. And it just sucks. When you look on the collegiate level, that's what people look at, size and all that. It sucks, but man, that kid was just built different. But the lesson that he learned, like Chris is he want to be a mechanic. He gonna be a heck of a mechanic, because anything he set his mind to, he gonna put it all to. That's one thing I can't say about that young man. And they still come around. That's the best thing. When they come around and they doing good, and that's all you ask for.
Yeah, that's very most important. You're more on the road here at Forest High School, talking to the head football coach, Coach Jeremy Jones, talking about youth skill development football camp, as well as, again, how to reach the youth. It's not saying that if Coach went out there, I'm not going to say if Coach Jones went out there, if a coach went out there with a gun in his hand, put to these kids and said, I'm threatening you to come play football for me, 9 times out of 10, they probably someone will take that bullet and say, man, no, I'm not going to come play football. And some will come out here and enjoy it. But I think it's sometimes the kids just got to be disciplined enough to be part of an athletic program, or you're going to be disciplined enough to follow the instructions of the correction facility. And that's something that you don't want. I prefer to hit a coach fussing at me all day and yelling at me, having me run, but it'll benefit me in the long run, because you can build a bond to teammates and also have an opportunity to go make millions of dollars.
Man, people fail to realize, not tell people, what's your end goal? What's your end goal? After you done played, what's your end goal? When you look at that millions of dollars, I tell people, man, that's like 3%, 0.3%. But let's look at jobs hire people that are athletes. If you look at Enterprise, they employ more athletes than any other company in the nation. Fortune 500 company. People want people who have that competitive nature. People want people that got that giddy up. They understand I got a test that I got to do and I got to complete. And sometimes, man, you may not be the best. But you got to be the best at that moment. And I tell people, like you just said, man, and it's a good point. Why not? What you had to lose? Man, what you had to lose? A lot of people, man, and I tell people this, man, they don't want to go through the work stage, but the work stage is the most important stage. You know, everybody see Friday night, you know, and that's fun and all, but the relationships built Monday through Thursday. When you put in that sweat and tear, and now you look over to this guy, and this guy know, hey, I got his back. And now you know you done put your everything in, and you looking over at your opponent, and he done took a deep breath. He over there huffing and blowing, and you over there licking your chops like, man, listen, oh, it's gonna be a long night for you, buddy. You already huffing and puffing. You know, so people don't understand that grind. You know, you got to work hard all week, and that's just like you know, a lot of jobs. You work Monday through Friday, you get paid on Friday. Football, you got to work Monday through Thursday, Friday you pay them. So how are you gonna get paid? You know, I tell my kids all the time, it don't cost nothing to lose now. Now we ain't got to show up practice or nothing. We just show up on Friday and get that 80 piece hung up on us, and you know, and if you gonna come here, give it your all. Like if I'm here, I'm gonna give my all where I'm at. If I'm here, I'm gonna give it my all. That's one reason why I'm doing this camp, because I'm giving back to the community. Like, you know what, I'm here. You know, I'm here right now. This is an opportunity to help young children, because at the end of the day, man, they're the future.
Yeah, they are. Like I said, again, we talked with Coach Jones right here at Forest High School. More on the road with Bernard Moore III, presented to you by More and More Sports Management, talking about a youth skills development football camp hosted by Coach Jones. And I know that he would have on his staff as well as some other coaches just provided opportunities for the youth to come out and just learn about football and how you can relate it to life. Now, Coach, I know, like I said, with you being a former player as well as a current coach, now, once you finished playing, how did you transition into the workforce? Did you, once you graduated, jump straight into coaching, or you graduated and you went to, as you said, an office setting job? They said, hey, I got to get back to coaching.
So, man, listen, I'm going to tell you a funny story. And I graduated. I graduated in the summer. And I'll never forget, man, I was working at Enterprise up in Ridgely. And I was washing cars. And, man, I had an opportunity. Coach Don Lee was the head coach at Concordia. That's when I first went out there. When they called me and said, man, I need a D-line job. And I'll never forget, man, I was a D-line coach. Man, I'm out there scrubbing cars. And when I got the call, I'll never forget, I was like, man, I got to get up out of here. But, you know, that opportunity came from a guy named Coach Rainier Caldwell. Coach Caldwell, you know, he was at Just Stay on the time under Coach Cummings. You know, and I reached out to him. He was like, man, I know somebody, Coach. Get you a job right now. And that's what happened, man. You know, God blessed me. I went out there, and it was just a blessing. I learned that for 3 years, and then I met Coach Pittman at Fort Valley.
And see, that goes back to showing individual with good character, because you said a coach called you about a job at another school and said, hey, Coach, I got a good coach for you. That goes by saying build the relationship and good character of the individual.
So, man, you want to be, and people don't realize this, but 90% of the interviews don't even take place. You know, your resume might look good. It's all about who are you. You know, I can put anything down on a piece of paper. I can say I do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. You know, me and Ty McDane real good. We talk a lot. And I'll never forget, man, I met Todd in 2017, man. We sitting at his house and we just talking football. He was like, man, listen, you know, if we don't sit and talk football, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't do this with everybody. He was like, I called around. I ain't look at your resume. But I just called around and said, man, I want to talk to these young guys. And we sat down and had a conversation for like 3 hours, man. We just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, that's another, you know, good guy. And just your character gonna get you in the room. You know, you can have all this long resume, but you gotta have some character too.
Yeah, I know Coach McDaniel, know him personally. I know his family. He comes from a good family background, heavy in education.
Yeah.
You know, his father was in education, and his mother as well. So I know that he comes from an education background, and a lot of his brothers, they're coaching as well too. So I guess his coaching in the pedigree, then with him being in Hazelhurst, he went down and won championships with Hazelhurst at 3A. School was a very powerhouse during that time. They had opportunity to go to Alcorn and learn there. And now he's at
Vicksburg.
Yes, at Vicksburg. And they just had a camp down there not too long ago. Malcolm Butler had his camp this past weekend. But no, again, we're talking with Coach Jeremy Jones, talking about the youth development football camp that's taking place this Saturday here on the campus of Forest Hill High School at South Jackson Stadium, soon to be Forest Hill Stadium.
Coach, man, hurt you to say that, don't it, man? I'm looking at your face. It's like, man, I don't. Hey, for the record, South Jackson Stadium.
I'm not going to get Coach in trouble. JPS administration, if you listen, this is Bernard Morton saying that it should be Forest Hill Stadium. So if the JPS is covered up with FH on it, I'm going to say, I don't know who did it, though. But I really appreciate the school district and the community and the support to help redo this stadium. And I know that Coach Jones, and I know as well as Coach Clint Johnson, or the former athletic director, they're doing so many things with the facility, with athletics. I know that they're going to continue to update here, then they're going to update Newell Field, as well, not Newell Field, Hughes Field, as well as North Jackson Stadium over behind the capital city of Atlanta. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Newell Field. No, I've heard a lot of things with Newell Field.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going back and forth with some other individuals within the community around Newell Field, so I'm not going to better mention anything about that. But I know that they're updating the Shelby Bailey Coliseum here on campus of Forest Hill High School. Now, I can say that's Forest Hill Gym, on the gym of Forest Hill High School. I can say that one.
Man, to be honest, man, this place is actually a gold mine. People don't realize. You know, JPS, it could be a gold mine. You know, it's just, you got to work.
It is.
You got to work, man.
Now, if we can go back in history and look at all the student athletes JPS has produced. It has produced a lot of good student athletes. Now, I'm not just going to say student athletes because it has done that, but I'm going to say students as well, because you have some elected officials that are students, that are former students of JPS. You have some CEOs that are former students of JPS. You have a lot of individuals that, and our sheriff is a graduate of the JPS school. His administration is a lot of JPS graduates. I'm a JPS graduate, so I know that there's a lot of power, a lot of things that come through JPS. Our mayor is a graduate of JPS. So it's a lot of good things coming out of JPS. But there's still some things that we have to get over. And I think that, again, this camp, especially targeting the youth, come down, come see Coach Jones and his staff at the Youth Skills Development Football Camp on the campus of Forest Hill High School at South Jackson Stadium this Saturday, July the 24th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And again, you can contact Coach, provide them your contact information code.
Yeah, that's.
Get any more information.
Yeah, that's the area code 769-243-2851. Just shoot me a text and I'll send you the job form link.
Again, Coach, I really appreciate your time, though, for allowing me to come here and talk with you. Again, this is my old stuff ground. I really miss this place, and anything that we can do or that I can do to help, not just with Forest Hill. I said, yes, I'm a graduate of Forest Hill High School, but anything that I can help the district out, just definitely let us know and see what we can get done.
Cool, man. Something I am going to start. For all those guys that play college ball here that went out, probably going to go ahead and start a wall. That way, when our players walk in, you know, they can see people who walk through the same hallways and buildings that went off and made it. You know, man, we were blessed this spring. You know, Christian Ringo was in town, and he worked with some D-line guys one-on-one, and that just speak highly of him, man. He did it. He came here every day. He went and worked out, did his due diligence, everything he had to do, then he came out here and worked with some players. So, and that speak highly on him. You know, but he ain't, you know, he's one. There's a lot of guys that graduated here, man. They come back. Receiver at Jackson State, Cortland Hope, he come out here sometime. He work out with our kids. So, man, it's a blessing. Where I come from, man, that's what happened, man. We went off to college. Man, we come home. We go back to the field. We excited to show them everything that we learned, you know, and it kind of be a winning coach, you know, because they actually see people, oh, man, he went to school and he came back and he doing this and doing that. You know, it ain't necessarily about money, but you know, he putting in time, and that's more value.
Yeah, time is very, very important. So for those former student athletes here that participated in the sport of football here at this field on the campus of Forest Hill High School, where they named it South Jackson Stadium, definitely come on back and talk to coach, health support coach. I know that we can definitely go ahead and start this wall of guys that have been through it. Again, I played with a lot of guys that when I went out to college. One of my teammates, Dwight Johnson, he signed a scholarship to play with Jackson State. So I walked on at Jackson State along with him. Then one of our running backs, Amaya Davis, he went to Hines and then he transferred to Jackson State. Then another guy, Turo McDowell, he played baseball, but he finished playing baseball and he went on to play at the University of Alabama for a while. I'm trying to get guys that graduated with me that I can remember. But I know guys I played with, Chris Norwood, went to Louisiana Tech and played. Gosh, it's
and you was naming, and the crazy thing about it, me being like, you wouldn't know that. Like I said, cause if you go to my hometown, you know, you see, you know that, hey, this guy went to this school. You know, this guy went to that school. You know, you know it.
Yeah.
But for here, man, they just gotta see it, man. When you walk in the Hines, you walk over there, you see that all the Hines, and you see all them guys, it's motivation. Yeah. But now, as a player, you looking like, dang, like they went somewhere. You know, they got out of here. They went to that place. I can too. You know, to be honest, man, your life, you just a blueprint for someone else. Like everything coach you doing, you writing a blueprint for somebody else to look up to. And the same thing for me, man. You want to make sure that you writing the right blueprint.
Well, Coach, we definitely going to get that started. I'm going to send a group text out to a lot of players that I still talk with, that I talk with that play here, that went on to play collegiate sport.
Yeah.
And enroll at college. We definitely soon go ahead and get that started, though. Like I said, the walls look naked right now.
Oh man, this thing on the roof. It's gonna be. We finna revamp it. Y'all just give me a little time. It's gonna be a little different in a couple weeks.
I got you. I need to get one of the varsity football shirts too. Now I need
one of those. I got you.
Because I've been walking around with. I coach at Lanier, and some people I walk around out of Lanier stuff. Some of my former teammates got me and said, "Man, you walking around this stuff?" I said, "Hey, this who paying me. This why I got a job. This why I'm working there right now." Then I had a couple Surfer Wingfield on time. I got job. But hey, it's all JPS, so I don't have to give it some Forest Hill stuff. I got a few Forest Hill t-shirts that I ordered when I was here to fundraise. So I got a few Forest Hill. But I'm ready to walk around with the Forest Hill football t-shirt.
Cool, I got you one.
All right, I'm going to hold you to it now.
I got you one, officially.
Again, it's Bernard Moore III with Bull on the Road, presented to you by Bull Sports Management. We're here live at South Jackson Stadium on the campus of Forest Hill High School, which we're about to rename the school. This stadium is going to be named after Forest Hill. I'm sorry, I'm just joking, JP. Don't get mad at Coach Jones. This is all me. Again, we will chat with y'all later. Again, come on out to see Coach Jones and his staff at the camp, Youth Development Skills Camp, here this Saturday from ages 5 to 14, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, if you have any questions, definitely look up Coach Jones. He'll definitely provide the information to you. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you so very much. 1 + 1 = deuces. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, man. Come on. I got you one right now.